everybody, and welcome to Storm Raids. And today I'm going to do sort of a what I've read, currently reading type of video. Kind of a mid-month wrap-up, I guess, even though it's a little bit maybe after the mid-month. But I haven't read a whole lot this month. I mean, for being the 16th, I've only read like 5 books. And so I just thought I would just kind of lump it all together and make a video, and so that way I could kind of tell you what I read for tis the season-a-thon, along with everything else, because I only read a couple of books for that, and so I thought it was kind of silly to make a video for just the 2 books. So we're just gonna go with it. And so I will start with what I read for tis the season-a-thon, which was hosted by Heather from Bookables and one other person that I can't remember, but I'll put their information down below. And there was, I believe, 5 prompts, and I fulfilled 4 out of the 5 prompts, so I thought I did pretty good. I just really wasn't in a reading mood whenever the first of the month got around, and so I kind of didn't do very good on that one, but I read Murder in the Bayou Boneyard by Ellen Byron. This is number 6 in the Cajun Country Cozy Mystery series. It's one of my favorite series. It's about Maggie, who works at her parents' B&B, but she's also a docent for another museum plantation. And she's also an artist, so she's kind of got a whole lot of things, juggling a whole lot of things. And they've recently expanded their B&B to put a spa in it. And so they had just found out that they have some new relatives that they didn't know about because of like an Ancestry.com situation. And so they've invited her and her family to come down because she's a masseuse, and they thought, that would be nice. They could get to know them, and she could work as the masseuse in their spa. Which Maggie soon finds out that you should not hire family, especially family that you don't know. They're from Canada, and they've come and traveled down to Louisiana because they actually had some property there that was in the family. And that was mainly one of the reasons I think they was wanting to come down and check things out. And it becomes a situation between Maggie and her family and the new relatives, because they are doing some things that Maggie is not happy about, and some people are letting her know about it. And when she gets into a little bit of an argument with her, and decides that if she's not going to do what she wants her to do and what she's contracted her for, she's going to fire her. And then when she does that, the lady's like, that's okay, because I'm going to take over my land, and this building is on my property. And that starts kind of a property lines war, because actually that property is in between the her parents' land and her new relatives' land. So yeah, and then there's a lot of other things going on as well, is because the B&Bs are having a hard time, because there is this rich guy that's going around and he's buying up a bunch of property, and he's got this app now called Rent My Digs, and they're losing a lot of customers to that. And so they decide, since it's Halloween time, that they are going to try to do a Pelican Spooky Past thing. And she's got there's 5 B&Bs that are in it, and they're going to be doing these packages, and it's got them some business and everything. But then all this other stuff goes on, and there is some people from a play, and they're putting on a play, and it's in a graveyard, and there's a rookaroo running around. And what that is supposed to be is the Louisiana version of a werewolf, but it's also kind of like a vampire hybrid. So, yeah. So they're scaring off their B&B guest, and so they got to try to figure out who's behind that. And then, of course, there is the murder, which ends up being Susan. I think it's Susanna or Susan. I Can't remember exactly her name, but she was the relative that they brought there. So, of course, Maggie and her family are going to be in the spotlight as the prime suspects because of the property dispute and everything. And so Maggie and her boyfriend, Bo, trying to figure out things, but Bo can't really do a whole lot for her because he's a detective, but since she's involved, he kind of has to step down and not run things. And because of the property line, I guess there's the Pelican Police, but there's also the other county involved. And the other county doesn't know Maggie and her family quite as much as, the people in Pelican. So they're really set up on trying to bring Maggie and her family down. So she's got to do a lot of sleuthing and figure things out. So, yeah, a lot of things going on, especially if you've not read the series like I have, because there are a few things that kind of come through with the series. But I think you could probably not be too confused if you just read this one, but I really do think it's best to start at the beginning of Cozy Mystery Series. But that's just myself. I'm kind of OCD when it comes to my cozies. I gotta read them in order. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. It was kind of funny that I was using this for a Christmas readathon, and it's a Halloween story, but it fit because I needed a book that I meant to get to this year, but I hadn't got to yet. I needed a cozy read, which, of course, Cozy Mystery is a cozy read for me. It's one of my go-tos when I need something cozy. And so I went ahead and read it for that. And then I did read a Christmas romance. It was called Jingle All the Way by Debbie Maycomer. It's her Christmas one for this year. And I got it as an e-arc. I got the other one as an e-arc too. I forgot to mention that. But it was also one that I'd been needing to read this year because I think it came out in like October. So it was perfect for this because, 1, I needed to read a holiday-themed book. 2, it has lights on the cover. And so it fits that. And so, yeah, I think that is what it covered. Yeah. And this one was okay. It's not my favorite of Debbie Maycomer's Christmas books. It's about, if I can remember her name, Everly. And she's kind of stressed out. She's working this business with her partner, and it seems like her partner just wants to play golf and things. I mean, he doesn't really take it as serious as she's taking it. And why should he take it serious when she seems to work all hours and do everything? And he had her hire his niece as her assistant, and she's no good. She's not a good assistant. She's really bad. She's done some things that she just cannot overlook anymore, and she's told Jack that's it. She's got to let her go. She just can't handle her. And Jack's like, oh, no, my sister will go crazy. We got to try to keep her. And he's like, no, I can't do it. And he's like, what you need is some time off. You haven't had any time off. So he tells her niece she needs to take off all of December. And he has his niece book her on the first 2 weeks to book her on a cruise. Something beachy, something warm and nice and fun. She needs someplace to relax. And so the girl, she's like, oh, I'm all on it. And so she finds her a cruise that's in Brazil. And it's, of course, it's going to have beaches and everything. So Everly's thinking, okay, Brazil, I can do that. Beaches and, that kind of thing. It's going to be nice and warm. She doesn't check out things. She just, and this is, the first thing she should have thought of. She should have checked and seen exactly what kind of cruise and everything she's going to be on, because she's not prepared for what happens when she finds out that it is a cruise down the Amazon. And for 2 weeks, there's no phones, no telephone. She can only shower like once a week, I think, or something like that. They have to be really cautious on the showers, or maybe it's twice a week. And so she's very upset when she gets there. She tries to argue against it and get herself off of the cruise, but it's already started and the captain's not turning around. So she's stuck on this cruise. Well, there is a naturalist on there that's running all of the events and everything for learning about the rainforest and everything that has to do with the Amazon. And he kind of takes a little bit of a liking to her, and she got bit by a mosquito and ends up having to sit out a lot of it in her cabin because she gets really, really sick. And he brings her food and everything, so they kind of get to know each other that way. And of course, it's a romance. The only thing that I think I didn't care for so much is why this one got 3.5 stars instead of 4 stars is because I don't like it when the characters end up parting ways at about 60-ish% of the book, because then you have the woe is me's for like 40% or whatever, and I don't like that. I know that, you know, there's always something that happens that breaks up the characters, and then they come back together at the end because it is a romance, but usually it's like the last like 10 to 15%, not 40, and so yeah, it kind of took me out of things. It was really kind of fun. I liked her on the Amazon and the funny things that happened to her. I mean, she gets taken by a tribe of Amazon tribe, and she she falls into water where there's piranhas. I mean, there's all kinds of funny things that happen to her while it's during the Amazon stuff, and so that was fun. But then once things happened and they're not on the cruise anymore, it kind of took me out of the story a little bit. It still had, you know, a nice ending and everything, and I liked both Ellery and Asher. They were good. They were a good couple, and I liked the characters and everything. It just wasn't my favorite of Debbie Macomber's Christmas books. And so that's the 2 books that I read for the Tis the Seasonathon. And then the other books that I read, I listened to Forget About Me by Karen Gray. This is the 2nd book in the Boston's Classics romance series, and it's set in the 80s, so it's got a real nostalgic feel to it, and I really enjoy that part. I didn't care for this one quite as much as the first one, but I still enjoyed it. It's about Ben, who he wants to be an actor, and things aren't really exactly going how he wanted them. He went to Los Angeles because he was running away from a past, something that happened that has been haunting him and the girl that he loved. He ran off from her because he doesn't think she would love him anymore, because if she finds out what happened back then. And then there's Lucy, who she's had a hard time since her brother died in a car accident when a drunk hit him about, I think it was 7 years ago, and she feels like it was all her fault. So she has made sure that she is taking care of her family and everything. And she's a veterinarian, and she goes to confession like weekly, and she tries to be a good girl. And she thinks that it was all her fault what happened to her brother. Well, come to find out, Ben thinks it's all his fault what happened to her brother, when it was really just, you know, an accident and a drunk driver, and neither one of them's fault. It just happened. But it split them up. They were kind of together and liked each other, so it's a second chance romance. He's come home to take care of his father because his father had, I believe, a heart attack, and so he's taking care of him. And while he's there, he's kind of refound his passion for the theater. He's in a Shakespeare theatrical performance. I don't remember what it was that he's in. I can't remember. But he finds a dog, this little dog, and it was injured, and so he takes it to the vet, and of course, there he meets Lucy, and so it's kind of a rekindling of their love story, and it kind of goes back and forth between what happened with them when they were younger, and then how things are going now. And I like the audio. There's 2 narrators, which I cannot remember the names of the narrators, but the part I didn't like in the audio is it would rewind or fast forward like you were doing that with a cassette tape, and it was really grating on the ears. I did not like that part. But other than that, I really liked it, and like I said, I enjoyed it. Just, it wasn't my favorite. I enjoyed the first one in the series better, but I did like it. It had some funny moments in it, and I gave it 3.5 stars. And I will continue on with the series. And then let's see, I read My Best Friend is Extinct by Rebecca Wood Barrett, and this one doesn't come out until next year. So I got kind of a jump on it because it looked like it was going to be a really cute middle grade story. It's about 10-year-old Henry, and it's snowing. It's like a snow apocalypse outside. They're having a really strange snow season, and so all you hear is this snow, snow. It's all snow, which the kids are really enjoying because they get to go out and play in the snow, and they're building forts and snowball fights and all them kind of things. And in one of these tunnels that he finds in the snow, he finds this hurt animal that ends up being an extinct small-nosed bear of some sort. I mean, it didn't look really like an extinct animal. It looked like a polar bear to me, but I don't know. I don't know my extinct animals. But there is also a scary extinct animal that's out there that had injured him, and that was the saber-toothed tiger. So, yeah, had some different things in it. I liked the story, but I didn't like the main character. I did not like Henry. He kind of drove me crazy. And because of that, it took out a lot of the enjoyment. Also, there were just some things that just didn't add up very well for me. I think Henry might have supposed to have attention deficit disorder. Maybe. I'm not sure. I have no idea when it comes to that. I don't have kids. I don't know any of them kind of things. But his attitude and behavior, he's like he couldn't settle down. He's always up. He drive his teacher crazy. He would just run to the window and look at things and he was just really annoying. And sometimes, even though he's 10, it seemed like he acted more like he was 5. And he was just annoying. And it seems like he was unsupervised a lot. So his mother was like never around. Though she was, because of the snow, she got a job as a driver for a snow plow. So she was busy a lot. And if you hear stuff in the background, I'm sorry. My dad is doing something downstairs. No clue. And my dog is chewing on something. So sorry about that. Anyway, and it's just, they were always in the snow, but there was never any mention of being cold. I mean, I'm 5 minutes out in the snow and I'm freezing. And it was like there was hardly ever any mentions of being cold or anything like that. And so I don't know. I like the extinct animal aspects of it. I thought that was kind of fun. And the illustrations were really good. I really liked them. It's just, overall, the story just didn't grab me as like I hoped it would. And so I gave it 2 stars. Just wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be. It has a really super cute cover. And like I said, the animals were super cute and everything. And the ending just seemed, I don't know, really fast, and whoop, that was it, and things were done, and I don't know. Just wasn't for me. Maybe somebody else might like it. And I think kids might like it a lot more than adults do. It just didn't really have what I wanted in it, I guess. And, okay, enough about that. The last book that I've read is a book that I listened to, and it's called Mistles and Mr Wright by Sarah Morgenthaler. It is the second book in the Tourist Trap series, and it was a Christmas romance. And I tell you what, I wasn't sure how I was going to like it because I don't like Lana. I didn't like Lana in the first book. And I'm still not extremely on board with Lana, but I really liked Rick. He's one of my favorites. He has a cute little hedgehog, and he dresses it in sweaters. I mean, what's not to love about that? It was just, I really liked him. I didn't think Lana deserved him, because I really liked him, but She ends up not being so bad at the end, but there's still parts of her I just don't like. I think a lot of it's from the first book, that things she did in the first book that still just, I am forgiving her for. So I don't like her. But it was okay. She is trying to bring tourism to Moose Springs, and not everybody's on board about it, and so she has to fight a lot of the townspeople, and a lot of townspeople don't like her. But Rick, he really likes her, and even though she's from like a rich family, a corporation family, he doesn't really see that. He just sees her, and he really likes her, but he's been hurt really bad in the past, and people are warning him, you know, you should look elsewhere. You should not try to get something going with her. She's just going to break your heart. But he can't help it. He likes her, and they kind of start seeing each other, and things happen, and, you know, it's a romance. But, like I said, I liked it. I really did. It was cute. I gave it 4 stars because I did like it. I think I liked it more for the Santa Moose, for the secondary characters that were the main characters in the first book, and all the other characters that are in there, Ash and Easton. I like all of those characters and everything, so that kind of kept it going. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of Lana, I did really love Rick, and so I gave it 4 stars. But that's it. So those are the books that I have read this month. Like I said, not very many. And I'm currently reading Broadcast for Murder by J.C. Eaton. It is either book 6 or 7. I cannot remember. In the Sophie Kimball series. It's another one of my favorite cozy mystery series. And I am really enjoying this one. The only thing is sometimes I think the amateur sleuth, Sophie, drives me crazy just a little bit now and then with her antics, but other than that, I really, really enjoy it, and I'm having a fun time with this one. And I'm going to be starting The Masked City by Genevieve Cogman. This is the second book in the Invisible Library series, and I'm buddy reading this with my friend Barb, and we read the first one last month, and so we're going to get into this one, and my month is getting away from me, so I really need to get started on this one. So that's what I'm going to be reading. And also, I think I'm going to try to start on another 2021 middle grade book that I have called Root Magic, and I cannot remember what the author's name is. I think it's Eden something, but yeah. So that's the books that I'm going to start reading, and there you have it. That's all I have for this video, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.